Get the comfy chair!
Welcome to this episode of The Good, The Bad and The Odd with your hosts, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello.
Right, so this is one of our comfy chairs, the one we promised last time we did one that we try and do monthly, and it was about 3 months ago now.
Yeah.
We did the last one. So we're recording in March 2021 for this one. So last time we recorded was 2020, I think. Can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will try and do these more regularly, we promise, but we'll just see how we go. So
I'll see you guys in July after this.
I'm gonna put on the April calendar to do one of these, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's jump straight in. So traditionally we start with our bad or odd choice. So I'm going to start if that's okay.
Okay.
My bad choice, really, slightly odd, but bad mostly, is a horror film called Vivarium. Now, I've been going through 2020 horror films for various reasons, and I've watched quite a lot of good horror films, and this one's the second worst I've watched. The worst is not worth talking about, I don't think, because no one had heard of it, and it just was terrible. Whereas Vivarium was mostly bad with a touch of odd. Now, interestingly, this gets relatively high ratings critically. Have you heard of it, Vivarium?
No.
Imogen Poots.
Not before you started discussing it. So.
Okay. Imogen Poots, who's a good actress. She was I saw her recently in Green Room, but she's been in various things. And Jesse Eisenberg, who is variable. Some people don't like him, some do. I think he's okay. I don't mind him. I'll always give him a shot. Though I do think he was very badly miscast as Lex Luthor personally in the Justice League movie. However, he was in this. They play a couple that are looking for somewhere to live, a house to buy, and they basically get taken to this weird suburban place by this very odd sort of realtor who's a bit otherworldly and weird. It's a bit Lynchian in many ways, this.
Okay.
And who showed him around the house, and he says he's just going to his car. So, and when they leave, when they think, we can't, this is just weird. Yeah, it's all very uniform and so on. And they go out to find him, and he's gone. And then when they try and leave this housing project, they just keep coming back to the same house. There doesn't seem to be any way out. It's almost like a maze of houses. And then they just start living there. And it goes on. Now, the first 10 minutes had me intrigued. I thought it was kind of amusing and very intriguing and funny. But this, in the end, it
falls apart, I'm guessing.
I'm not going to say falls apart. It kind of resolves, but in a very unsatisfactory way. It didn't deliver. Let's put it that way. I think how I felt about it is how some people may feel about something like Blair Witch Project, when we don't see a spooky thing, really. We just get like a resolution that's a bit unsure. This is kind of like that. It's got a touch of Groundhog Day in that they just go through the same every day. I think it's a big allegory of suburbia and couples. They have a son who turns up. He's just a baby turns up in the street in a box, and they take him in, and he seems to age rapidly, and he's a very weird kid. He keeps imitating them, and it's aggravating. Honestly, at the end of it, it's like, I want my time back. This is like a wasted time, but it does stick in the mind, so it's got that. So there's always films that could do that without just being graphically horrible, using or shock jumps. Always got something to them, and I can't complain about the acting. The acting was great. I can't complain about the direction. What I can complain about is the story. Really, it was quite annoying in the end. And as I say, it gets high ratings in some quarters. So some people really love this, but I thought it was just pulling my chain, really. Yeah. So yeah, Vivarium. I can't recommend it. I think I gave it something like 2 out of 5,
Wow.
maybe 1.5 out of 5, because I was quite annoyed. But it stuck with me, and like I said, I got no complaints. But the acting and the direction was terrific, and it had many elements that were very Lynchy. It really was a gutting of suburban life, I think, in the way
Okay.
something like Blue Velvet was. Yeah, so that's me.
Okay, so my bad and odd is Lawnmower Man. I hesitate to call it an adaptation of the Stephen King book.
No, it totally isn't. No.
It uses it. I think it cites him as like the original, the writer.
It was called Stephen King's The Lawnmower Man. Then he took the company to court for using his name because it had nothing to do with his actual story. It is quite the film. I find it quite entertaining though. How do you find it?
It was so bizarre. Good lord. So you got Pierce Brosnan as a doctor on some weird like brain enhancement. I think it's supposed to be a military project, but they're not really clear because they just keep calling them who they work for the company.
The company. Now, there's a bit in other Stephen King, in like Firestarter, for example, and you see it's like reflections of that in stuff like King-inspired stuff like Stranger Things, right? So it's just like this nebulous, sinister company that does stuff.
Yeah,
which might be the CIA or might not be, it's that sort of thing.
Yeah, but the film really starts with one of Dr. Angelo's chimpanzee experiments breaking out and using its VR headset to attack and kill a couple of guards on the way out, and it tries to run and it bumps into this I want to say developmentally disabled guy called Job.
Yes.
Like, I want to say it's a biblical reference, but it's not spelt the right way. But he was raised by a priest, so yeah. But so the company like comes and kills the chimpanzee when it doesn't come peacefully. But Job was looking after it for a bit. But after that, the Dr. Angelo kind of gets interested in performing the experiments on Job. I'm not worried about spoiling this film because it's
don't worry about
that. It's 29 years old, so yeah, it's not great, but it was very fun to watch and drink along to. So
yes, I like this film because it's so dumb. Jeff Fahey is channeling Harry from Dumb and Dumber somewhat, but I think this was made first.
Yeah, if you've ever seen Tropic Thunder, he's Simple Jack from
Simple
that.
Jack. He's got. Shall I
say it?
No,
don't say it.
So one time he's got this sadistic priest looking after him who whips him, right?
Yes.
Who likes whipping grown men who haven't got their shirts on.
Yeah.
They've got the nymphomaniac widow next door. They got like a child beater on another neighbour. They got some weird neighbours.
Yeah, it's like street. So.
Pierce Brosnan has got a big gold earring, hasn't he? Is that right?
And he also there's a bit where he stood out watching Job mow the lawn because that's his actual job.
Yeah.
And he starts like stroking his chest and like pawing at himself. And it's like, what is going on here? Is he going to try and have sex with Job? So,
what made me laugh, there was some real terrible dialogue in it, if I remember. It trying to sound scientific, but it's like a ridiculous idea. I like at one point doesn't he tell someone that Job has he learned Latin in 2 hours? Well, he himself, the doctor, he says, and this is his statement, I took a whole year to master the Latin alphabet. Now, 2 years to... Now, can I just point out the Latin alphabet is the English alphabet without a J or a W. So it took him 2 years to master that, did it? Really? Okay. The goofy CGI is quite charming. I quite like it.
It was very... If you've ever watched, like, Beast Wars or like any sort of bad 90s CG cartoon. Not in terms of actual writing quality, just bad. The CG itself is bad. You'll enjoy this because there's a lot of like weird superimposing Jeff Fahey's face onto like a weird CG man. There's a bit where he has cyber sex and accidentally like wipes her brain.
Yeah, there's all sorts of weird stuff. I like the bit at the end, actually. I quite actually think that there's a bit at the end that I think is quite cool where he declares himself as Cyber Christ. I kind of like that. It was kind of, whoa, you go full on here. Also, Jeffrey Lewis was in it, right? Julia.
Yeah.
I always like him in anything. He's great in anything. I just think he always adds something to a film. So actually, I quite like this film, even though it is objectively absolutely terrible. I haven't seen the sequel. Have you seen the sequel?
No, we haven't watched it. But apparently, the only actor that carried over to it was the kid who shows up.
The kid. Wow, that's such a weird thing.
Who's called Peter Parkett.
Peter Parkett, nice.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we don't even see a chimp at the beginning, do we? We just see things through the chimp's eyes. We see the chimp pickpocket a gun and start going nuts and stuff like that. So I like this one.
Me and my friends, like the second that happened, we were all immediately we were in Discord together watching it. And we immediately started spamming this bit from a Hellboy comic.
Okay.
There's two of them, and they're just like, "Is that a monkey? He's got a gun!" And there's just the chimp with a gun held out in front of it. So.
Okay, I quite like this film. You know what? If I see it cheap on Blu-ray, I'm going to buy it. I think I am. That's how I feel about it. It's got a certain charm that's just weird, right? It's just a weird film. I think they saw Tron, dropped some acids. I don't know. I can't work out what the basis for it. And I thought, Stephen King films always make money, and they just made up an entirely. And there's literally nothing apart from the title. There is no bearing on his.
And the fact that story. He mows a lawn.
Mows a lawn.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
The bit where he does it remotely with his new psychic powers that he somehow gets. So.
Yeah. Great.
And he chokes out a guy with a gas like hose sort of thing.
Yeah, there's all sorts.
Apparently, I remember I looked this up on while we were watching it. There was a video game of this, and the gas station is a boss.
Weird.
Like it starts attacking you with like the nozzles as tentacles, sort of thing.
I'm gonna say I want to play it, but no, it'd be awful. Nah, I don't really want to. But yeah, man, he is so Harry though. You know, he dresses the same haircut, right? Same haircut, same brain power. Yeah. It's that kind of thing. Right, anyway, I haven't seen this film in 6 years. I just checked on Letterboxd, but I still remember it very well.
Yeah.
7 years, 2014. So that is... I want to watch it again. You're making me want to watch it now. Anyway, good choice. Right, my first good is Nick Cage, recent Nick Cage film, Willy's Wonderland. Which you and I watched together, actually, so we could.
We watched it separate. But
you're right.
You watched it maybe at an hour's delay from me. So I watched it again with my friends while drinking.
What a bizarre film. This reminded me a lot of the other one we covered, the Banana Splits movie in many ways. And it weirdly, I mean, Nick Cage turns up in a really flash car, which the tires get punctured by an obvious trap across the road, and this guy turns up, who's the boss, says, it's $1,000 in cash. He goes, well, I haven't got cash. And
he doesn't say anything.
He doesn't say anything. He doesn't say a word in this whole film, does he, Nick Cage? Weird choice. But he was the one that said, I want to do this as well. So he wasn't approached
the guy.
He approached the guy. He saw it on some shared website, didn't he? The script, and said, "I want to do this." He essentially it's a bit Children of the Corn, like, you know, they're trapping travelers to go nominally clean this closed arcade, you know, fun world.
It's a Chuck E. Cheese style, like animatronics and pizza sort of place.
Yeah, but really, we find out later that it's really human.
It was ran by it was originally ran by murderers, and then when they were cornered, they performed some sort of satanic ritual to put themselves in the animatronics.
Yeah.
And why at that point they didn't just destroy the animatronics is anyone's wonder, but it did lead to quite a good film. So
yeah. So it's a bit Child's Play, it's a bit Children of the Corn, it's a bit Banana Splits movie.
Yeah.
It's just like these animatronics attacking people, attacking Nick Cage, and not getting anywhere. And I do love the fact that Nick Cage, he just goes about his cleaning.
Yeah.
These bloody things attack him, and he just rips a new arsehole of them, just destroys them, and then just cleans
straight
up.
back to cleaning.
And
I think my favourite bit is the first time he gets attacked. It's like in the main room, all the animatronics are there, and they all get into creepy poses, and this ostrich thing gets it, tries to kill him, and then he just beats it till it falls apart with a pool cue. Rips its spine thing out, and all the animatronics just immediately go back to a down state. It's like, okay, they know what's going on. And me and my friends theorized that it was they probably realized, we can't fight this guy straight on. Let's just do the spooky stuff. That's why it's a scary. They're trying to be scary instead of efficient. So
yeah, it's nuts. I'm trying to the main animal. I can't remember what it was. It a giraffe or
it was supposed to be a weasel, I think.
Weasel, that's right. And its face looks weirdly like the face on the T-shirt that Nick Cage wore in Mandy. So I think you could sell this as an unofficial sequel.
Yeah, this is Mandy. This is something we theorized. I think I told you about this. We reckoned it was a stealthy sequel to Mandy.
I thought I came up with that.
No, I told you my theory.
Oh, okay. So, all right.
And the stuff he drinks is the liquid LSD thing.
Oh, yeah, that would explain it. Because he every hour he stops and has a drink of something.
Yeah, he stops, he goes plays pinball, and he has a drink.
A drink. And
then I in part had a running theory until I actually read the backstory of this. I thought it was Nick Cage found a cool pinball machine that he didn't know what the designs on it were for, and he wanted to make a movie around it. Because that's the most cagey sort of thing.
Yeah, it definitely could. It was a good movie though. I really, really like this movie. It was good fun. And like I say, it kind of would make quite a interesting double bill with Banana Splits movie, which was a weird thing in of its. Yeah, a horror movie with the Banana Splits as killer animatronics. And then this one. And everyone died. A lot of people die in this.
Yeah, pretty much everyone but Nick Cage and the last girl sort of.
Yeah, the final girl. And he gets his car back in the end.
We'll talk about final girl stuff later. But hey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good movie. I really quite like this, and you liked it too, right? So
yeah.
So yeah, I haven't got much else to say about it, really.
Okay, so my first one is a newish, pretty new game I found called Universe Sim. It's a city build. So far, it's a city building game. But from what I can find, you can also expand to do it on an intergalactic scale. But at the moment, I'm just looking after cavemen. So
nice.
It's
so
fun.
This is PC, is it?
Yeah, it's a PC game. It's a fun, goofy little thing. I've got a narrator who is constantly making fun of the people. He's like, "Well, welcome back, creator. The people have achieved nothing since you've gone." When I load back into the game.
So what's it more like? Is it more like
It's more like SimCity sort of thing.
SimCity.
Yeah.
So you're not dealing with individuals. It's not like The Sims.
No. Well, you start off with 2 individuals that you design, and your population builds from there.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So you end up with an Adam and Eve sort of thing.
Okay.
Fortunately, mine have died, so I have no. I built 2 custom ones, sent them out, and then after a while they died of old age, and it's well, now I have no emotional connection to this, so. Everyone just does. Everyone's just a blank face now.
Everyone dies. Okay, on Steam, was it?
Yeah, on Steam. It also it's got actual god powers, so you can the nuggets as they're called. That's the people. They're just called nuggets. I don't know why, but they can. You are their god. They can petition you to do stuff. So you can change, if you have enough power, you can change the seasons. You get more power by building a temple to yourself and staffing it. And like, if your power's low and you need like it, you can just send people to be sacrificed at the temple.
And that gives you power.
That gives you power. On the flip
Wow.
side, having a lot of people that believe in you also causes your power to generate at a quicker level.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
Alright.
it's a fun little game. I recommend it. So,
I've never even heard of it, so that's kind of cool.
yeah, it only came out like really recently. So
Right. My next one is a big subject, really. It is South Park has an entirety. You and I have watched gradually and slowly gone through every single episode of South Park, all 23 seasons and the 2 specials. And funny enough, we only watched the last one, an hour ago, less than an hour ago, which has only just come out. So I'm talking about all the TV shows and the movie and all of it. Interesting, because I always had the opinion South Park quality stayed quite consistently good. But I had nothing. But no, that does not happen. There's a definite dip. I can't tell you when the really good seasons were. I'm going to say 10.
good seasons were
The
about
first
it
15.
Yeah, I could say that. There's some in the first few seasons that just like they're just not funny.
Yeah, they're a bit dull, but there were some really dreadful ones.
There were some like boring and almost depressing ones.
Yeah.
Like, as you get towards the middle, like the one about Stan maybe having Asperger's, and they never really confirm it either way.
Yeah, and then there's an entire run in the later seasons of Randy Marsh going nuts and wanting to start a marijuana farm, and the entire series being based around this marijuana.
Entire season
Integrity Farm. It was a bit of a grind.
It gets to literally the point where they in the universe they arrest him for just being so boring. Like, everyone's sick of hearing about Integrity Farm.
Yeah.
And oh my god.
And it isn't great. And there's a really bad one where Towley somehow gets involved as well. And there's an awful one where something about Oprah's vagina has a gun.
That's also Towley.
Oh, that is a bad episode. That is a really bad. But you know what? The last season and the most recent one, not bad at all. But the problem I have with it is they're not acting like we like them to be. Or highlight them to be. So, Cartman really went off the boil. He stopped acting like Cartman, several seasons before we got to the end. I'd say about 15 or 16 he stopped acting, which is where the fun was, really. So it kind of feels a bit of a grind. But we did having said that, we did watch them all. And there was only, I think, maybe 2 where it was like, oh, that was dreadful.
Yeah.
The rest of them went from the worst was just not very funny to pretty damn good. There were some pretty damn good ones. The stuff where Mr. Garrison is the president was pretty gold. That was pretty. I like that. I didn't
like that it was like a full season arc.
No,
but like it was funny. That's
yeah, I liked it, and he was just because he could be a dick because he was president. He was
because he was Donald Trump. That was the
exactly. And but I have to say the most recent vaccination one I did like a lot. The one before that, which was the
pandemic special,
that was okay.
Yeah, it ended on such a depressing note though.
Yeah, but the vaccination
with Mr. Garrison, Donald Trump coming in and burning the last possible hope for making a vaccine.
Yeah. So overall, I think South Park's a pretty good show, but it was a bit of a grind to get it after I'm going to, off the top of my head, I think it's about season 15, 16, something like that.
Which I can't say I'm surprised about. Nothing that lasts 15 seasons is going to say.
Well, it's gone to 24, yeah. Having said that, I kind of fancy doing The Simpsons sometime.
No, I'm not doing Simpsons.
I've heard it's pretty good.
It's good up until they made the movie, and then from what I gather, after the few I've seen after that were atrocious.
Okay. I kind of am thinking about it anyway. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, that's me. South Park in its entirety. 24 seasons and a movie. There you go.
Okay. Now, appropriately, I've been playing the two of the South Park games, Stick of Truth and The Fractured Butthole.
Okay.
So, Stick of Truth is... They actually do have episodes based on these games in the series. So the Stick of Truth one was more about getting whichever games console they wanted when Xbox One and PS4 was releasing.
Oh, yeah, they have a war.
Yeah, they had a big war, and it was a lot of like slagging off George R.R. Martin because he didn't have. They were like, "You don't actually have a plot for Game of Thrones, do you?" It's like, no, the dragons could come, and they're gonna be here soon. You know it. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
And then fucking all that happened with Game of Thrones, but
Yeah.
but yeah. So Stick of Truth is you play as a new kid to town, and you basically start taking part in all the kids' like fantasy games. So
Yeah.
you start off working for Cartman, the Wizard King, and you get 4 classes. You get Fighter, Mage, Thief, or Jew.
Nice.
Yeah, and the Jew you can do like weird. It's a more of a status effecty sort of thing, so you can perform a circumcision to give people bleeding and stuff like that. And your ultimate move is the 10 Commandments. But I played as a mage, so I was like using like car batteries and chucking water over people as my lightning bolt powers, sort of thing. But yeah, it's a really fun game. I highly recommend it. It's genuinely wild that it got made, because it's like, okay, the South Park writers hated video games at the time. The previous South Park games had, if I remember correctly, they were like almost complete creative control was taken away from them, and they were just like not good.
Yeah.
So they were approached by, I think it was Ubisoft that approached them, and they were like, okay, you have full creative control, and we're giving you Obsidian, which is one of the best RPG companies in the business.
Okay.
So they made a really good game.
Oh,
And
that's
then
good.
the sequel, Fractured But Whole, is about superheroes, and you end up playing. Cartman pretty much just interferes with the fantasy game. Like, as it's coming to a head, he's just like, "Nah, we're playing the Coon and Friends now," and you end up doing that. So,
So
and you end up
Cartman disrails everything.
yeah, you end up doing all sorts of like weird, goofy side missions. There's a bit where I had to Cartman's mum was like, "Hey, can I get your help with something?" And she was like, "Hey, can you hand out signs, these like cards for my adult education business?" Literally all the reactions of people was like,
Whoa.
"Oh, Miss Cartman's back in the business, is she?" And then later on, it came back round where she was like, "Hey, I've got some help I need some more help with something. It's related to what we were doing." And you hear in the background, it's like, "Get the bitch out of there!" And you get to their house, and there's a pimp and 2 whores.
Wow.
and she's like, "This pimp has been trying to like get me to work for him and like stop cutting into his business. Can you show his whores a strong pimp hand so they'll fight for you?" And I had to do a mission where I had to like go around slapping like prostitutes.
Wow.
So that they turn on the pimp.
Wow.
Yeah,
They're
it
taking
was
the Mickey out of GTA or something, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I'd say Stick of Truth is probably better. Mainly because there was a run button on the overworld, and the map is quite big, so it was just so tedious. It's like a good 5-minute walk between locations in Fractured Butthole.
Yeah.
But going back to that final girl bit, Fractured Butthole has 2 downloadable quests. One where you go to Casa Bonita, which is Cartman's favorite restaurant, and you're working with Kenny as Mysterion to try and save his little sister from becoming a vampire.
Okay.
And it concludes with a guy dressed up as, I think it's Kiefer Sutherland in Lost Boys.
Lost Boys, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, I'll summon the spirit of Corey Haim. It'll be fun. It's just like the Lost Boys. I'm a fun dad," sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he summons Michael Jackson, and you have to fight Michael Jackson as the final boss.
And he says, "You're ignorant," I'm going to guess.
Yeah, he says that you're ignorant a lot. But the second DLC, bringing it back to what I said about the final girl, is these DLCs introduce new power sets for you. So you get the Netherborn, which is Kenny's weird like death powers in Return to Casa Bonita. And the second one, Bring on the Crunch, is about you go to Lake Titicaca, the summer camp for disabled kids that Jimmy and Timmy often go to, and where Nathan and Mimsy have started killing camp counselors, but you don't know that until later on.
Wow.
And you get the powers of the final girl. So you get like buzzsaw traps, you get head shears to like attack people with, and your final ability, your like ultimate ability is when all the enemies are at like below a certain health threshold, you run into a cabin, you assemble this weird chainsaw device out of all these different tools, and you just start taking a chainsaw to all of them. It's amazing.
That sounds pretty good, yeah.
And all the bosses are quite inventive. So you got like Randy Marsh, but he's wine drunk. You've got Towley, but he's sober. The final, one of the enemies is just Kyle's cousin, who's also being the human kite. You know his annoying cousin, the I'm big guy. Yeah. Him, but Dr. Mephisto accidentally mutated him into being a giant like Hulk thing. So you have to fight him. And the gimmick of the fight is you have to keep restart like farting. So farting is a major component in these games. The new kid has the power of farts and can alter reality with it.
Okay.
So you have to keep switching the time of day so that he has to stop and put on sun cream. so
that delays him.
Dork.
Right.
So he like just has to stop and put on sun cream. So you get like this is in real time. You have to like get through as many of your turns as possible before he's finished and starts again. So yeah.
Okay, sounds alright.
They're really fun games.
Is it on PC?
It's on PC. It's on all the consoles, really. I played it on my Nintendo Switch, but I've got it on PC.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll come to my last one for this conference chat, and that is Amazon Prime web series called Truth Seekers.
Yeah.
This is Nick Frost. It's a sort of comedy horror drama kind of thing. Nick Frost is the main star you'd know, but it's created by Nick Frost, Simon Pegg, who does also feature, but in a much lesser role. James Serafanowicz and Nat Saunders. 8-part series, really good. Unfortunately, Amazon had decided not to renew for a year. I think it was announced about a month ago that they weren't going to do season 2. After I'd watched it, so I would have still watched it though. But it does kind of put you off when you find out there's not going to be any more, doesn't it? Sometimes with these sorts of things. So Nick Frost is basically a broadband engineer for this company called Smile that are rolling out 6G. But it has also got an interest in like the paranormal. He reads up on it and all this, that, and the other. And as the series goes on, we kind of find out that supernatural things interfere with the 6G. So when he's called out to somewhere to fix things, it's usually because of a supernatural reason. So there's like ghosts and spirits and demons and all sorts. And he's got a new assistant with him whose name is Elton John. Is this black guy called Elton John, who everyone comment, or sometimes they don't comment at all, which is even funnier. Also, Nick Frost is what we think is his dad. It turns out not to be his dad, but we think it's his dad. But it's his father-in-law, in fact. He's played by Malcolm McDowell, and he's amazing. It was so good. As this annoyed old bloke, hanging around the house and sort of shooting out barbs comments on what his son-in-law's doing. It's kind of funny. And there's a few other characters. For example, Elton's got a sister who is agoraphobic, but she's also a cosplayer. So she makes she's got a web channel for doing makeup and special effects makeup. Where she's done a lot of streaming, but she doesn't like leaving the house, but she loves cosplay. And she always makes a costume for a cosplay conference, but never gets the courage to go in and do it. And there's kind of that's a little sub story too. And there's one other character who we see right at episode 1, but she doesn't become part of the main narrative till episode 3, called Astrid, who's a young girl who seems to be being chased by ghosts. So basically, it's like a ghost hunting kind of thing. It's kind of a horror comedy. It's not quite like the X-Files. It's a bit darker, in fact, in some ways. But it's pretty good. Also, we do see later on in the series Kelly MacDonald, who was the great schoolgirl in Trainspotting. That actress, she's really good. She turns up in this. She doesn't look that much different, to be honest. So she turns up in this. She's pretty good. So, and there's various other people, but those are the main players. And Simon Pegg is Nick Frost's boss, who's sort of saying, "How we've got 90? You've got us up to 97%. Great!" And as he solves these supernatural mysteries, he's getting their 6G network up to 100% coverage because he's finding these hotspots of paranormal stuff going on. And it's kind of funny. He spends his time listening to these weird radio channels. He listens to one which just goes 1 1 1, and Elton comes on and goes, "What are you listening to?" And he goes, he explains what it is. He goes, "Is it Radio 1?" For a joke. And Nick Frost is explaining, "Look, this is an ancient broadcast. I don't know where it's from. I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from, but it's from wartime. It was like a signal to send out, but I'm not sure where it's coming from. But all it ever does is say 1." And Elton says, "Does it ever say something like 5?" And suddenly the radio goes 5, 1, 5. And like Nick Frost is, and then that turns into a mystery in itself. Yeah. Oh right, it's kind of cool. And there's like possessions and all sorts. So yeah, I really like this series. It's a shame there isn't another one, but I thought it was a pretty good series. So that's Truth Seekers.
Okay. So my last one is the Monster Hunter movie, played by Paul W.S. Anderson and starring what's her name? Mila Jovovich.
Yeah.
Jovovich.
Yeah. She's always pretty good, isn't she?
Yeah, she's always okay.
Yeah.
Now, this film, I was expecting it to just be like Resident Evil, where it was basically, hey, here's the rough premise for the games, and we're just going to ignore it. So, but to be power to them, Monster Hunter World does in fact have dimension hopping portals in them. That's the plot in story reason for there to be the crossover events. So like The Witcher or Assassin's Creed just happens. So it's not that weird that there is a dimension hopping portal that lets I think she's like a army ranger, Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, she's an army ranger. She controls an army like an elite squad. And the elite squad find themselves transported into this other world, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, I should say we watched it together, didn't we?
Yeah, we watched this together.
Yeah.
So she actually does end up doing some monster hunting, as it would be in the game. She bumps into one of the locals who she cannot talk with because they speak a different language. Yeah. All her unit gets killed by these giant spiders, or what's called the Diablos, which is a giant tunneling winged triceratops thing. And she and this hunter hunt the spiders so that they can get a poison to hunt the Diablos, and then they can move on. So like that's actually how you do play it in the game. You're supposed to go and grind the smaller monsters so you can make the right equipment to kill the bigger monsters. And you kill the bigger monsters over and over until you can get things to fight even bigger monsters. And that's the gameplay loop.
Yeah, and the hunter's played by Tony Jaa, who's pretty kick-ass in this.
Yeah, and he does play a character that is in Monster Hunter World. So he can... Well, there are a few of the characters from Monster Hunter World, in particular your handler, as well as like another hunter and his handler are in it.
Okay, and there's also a cat chef.
Yeah, the feline chef is really funny because he does the, like in the games when he makes you food, that's how he makes it. He does the slicing and flipping them and then dropping a little bit on top and then burning the whole lot. So
winking, he winked.
Yeah, he winks and like blows a kiss at her at one point. So, but yeah, they eventually go off and hunt a Rathalos, which in the film they like big him up as like, oh, this is the real powerful thing in the setting, like, oh, it turned Santa glass, it did this, that, and the other. In the games, they're not that strong. But yeah, eventually she ends up scrapping with the Rathalos for quite a while, and eventually gets pulled back through the portal with the Rathalos. So she spends a bit of time fighting it with the military, and then it eventually dies, and then all the other characters come through because there was another dragon on top of this tower that they were going to.
Yeah.
And it's an even bigger one, and it ends on a cliffhanger. So
yeah, it does. You've missed out one character that I loved, which was the Admiral, which is Ron Perlman.
Oh yeah, the Admiral. He's the only one that can speak English.
And he's got a big blonde pompadour, isn't he?
Yeah, which is actually smaller than his hair in the game. Like he has this huge thing going on. I don't even know how to describe it. Yeah.
I thought it was great. He reminded me a lot. I think I said it at the time. He looked to me a bit like the feral kid from Mad Max 2 grew up.
Yeah.
Into this Admiral. I have to say there was some good stuff about this movie. I quite liked it, but the CGI was spectacularly good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And I also like they actually made the big, I know I'm aware, I haven't played the game much, but I'm aware there's a thing about big ass weapons, big weapons.
They're in the games, they're huge. They're not as big as they are in the games.
Yeah.
But they're still pretty big.
But they made them believable, like they weren't ridiculous weapons in this film. Tony Jaa kind of handled them really well. So
yeah, he was alternating between a bow and a greatsword. Well, it's a greatsword in the game. In the film, if it was the same size as it was in the film, in the game, it would have just been a longsword. So
okay, it was pretty big though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a not a very memorable film, I think.
No, it's literally just CGI. Let's slap around a monster for a bit.
Yeah, but it was good CGI. It had weight. It looked good. I couldn't find out. The cat was the only one that looked a bit weak, but the big monsters looked great.
Yeah.
And the ships and everything, the landscape, it all looked good to me. I really like this. Good choice.
Yeah, it was really fun. I'll send you a picture of the actual Palico chef. It's called the Meowscular chef in comparison to his
send me that. We
film.
use that, or maybe I'll use it on the image for this episode. Maybe we'll see how we go. Yeah, so I'd recommend him Monster Hunter. It was pretty fun. I quite liked it. And it wasn't a complete crapping all over the game thing, was it?
Yeah, not like Resident Evil.
Resident Evil, not so much. I like the Resident Evil film.
Yeah, they're good, funny films, but they're not really good representations of Resident Evil. No. Whereas this is a pretty okay representation of Monster Hunter.
Yeah. Okay, let's wind up there. So that's our comfy chair. We will try and bring you one next month. We'll just see. So anyway,
see you in July. But
we'll see. All right, so bye from me.
Bye.